All right, comfy? Comfy? Are you comfy? Book. I mean, I figure it's a book club, so even though you're not here with us, I'm envisioning you here with us being comfy with, that's why I got the Baja.
Oh yeah.
And the coffee.
And we're kind of in front of, back there's our fireplace.
Yeah, we're all comfy cozy. Okay, so welcome back to our YouTube book club, where we pick books that we feel like can give you value and us value, and we talk about them. And this is actually chapter 2 of the book we're reading, Everything That Remains by the Minimalists. And last week we did chapter 1, so if you haven't seen that one yet, go back. We'll link it up here or down or over here, so you can see chapter 1's synopsis, I guess you could say.
I think that's a good way to say it.
But today we're going to dive deep into chapter 2 of Everything That Remains, and the chapter was called Stray Age. And so this chapter for me it really definitely, I could connect to it and I could relate to it on quite a bit of levels. So do you want to go ahead and summarize sort of what happened, and then I'll sort of provide the...
Sure, how you relate and stuff?
Yeah.
Sure, so basically in this chapter, the author, his mother had passed, and he was going over to her place to look through her stuff, and she had so much stuff, boxes and boxes and boxes. So basically, as a result of that, he realizes, oh my gosh, my mom, she basically had his 4th grade papers, just stuff from forever and ever ago. And he said, I think my mom was trying to box me up just to kind of keep me, because they lived really far away, and he could tell that she was trying to hold on to these things, but they were bringing her no value because they were all boxed away.
Yeah, so this is the point where I think the author Joshua Fields Milburn, I think he really truly realizes that our memories aren't in our things, they're in us. And so when he was trying to figure out what to do with all this stuff, so this was 64 years of stuff in this little apartment, wall-to-wall stuff, trinkets, knickknacks, and he was the first thing he thought of is what most of us think about in this situation, which is, okay, well, I guess we're going to take it and put it in a storage unit somewhere. And he sort of had an epiphany and was like, wait a minute, this stuff isn't going to, he was looking through, he found these boxes, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And like Kristen said, it was all his old papers from school. And he thought, I'm about to do the same thing with all of my mom's stuff that she did with those boxes of papers. I'm about to put all this stuff inside a big box with a padlock on it and and pay $150 a month just to keep it. For what? Why? It's not giving me any value. It's not giving anybody any value. And so what he decided to do was give it all away and sell it, and give some of the money to charities that helped his mom with her cancer and stuff. And so I think this is the point where he realizes in his life that someone else can get value out of these items, but I'm not going to get any value out of it. And holding on to these old memories with things isn't really helping anybody.
Yeah, he even talked about how releasing these things or giving or selling these things to other people really relieved him, really made him feel like a weight was lifted. And it's just really the way that this author writes is really great, very descriptive. He describes it as so every 7 years, I guess, our body's cells regenerate. So he was doing the math, and he's like, well, I'm 28, so this is I'm just coming off on my body regenerating 4 times. So this is a new start for me. I'm going to see what I can do new to be good or kinder to myself. Yeah,
and so the whole theory behind this whole book, Everything That Remains, they describe it in their podcasts and other times. The Minimalists, they describe this book as a why to become a minimalist book. The other books are how to, and they go into more in depth. This is the why to book. And this chapter really was the first point of, wow, all this stuff doesn't make me happy. And I think he started connecting, well, wait a minute, my house is already full of stuff, trinkets and items. I can't put my mom's stuff in there also. So he had that conversation with himself, and he spent a lot of time thinking about it. And so, it was a quick read, this chapter, but with me it connected because I've had family members pass, and we had to figure out what to do with all their stuff. And just recently, my grandmother, my dad's mom, moved states, and she brought all of her stuff, decades and decades and decades and decades of stuff. And we moved it all from her condo into a big old storage unit, packed it full. And I was like thinking, why? What is all this? Like, we close up the thing, put a padlock on it, and nobody got anything out of it forever. And it's like, if you don't need it right now, what's the point of keeping it ever? And so I've seen it firsthand, the amount of stuff that you can develop over a lifetime. And you know, when we were a few months back, we had a garage sale. We purged all of our stuff, and we helped their grandma do something similar. And a few times she made this comment. I just have so much stuff. Part of me just wants to not even look in those boxes and just get rid of them. Don't even look in them. Because what would happen was she would look into a box and go, oh, that thing or that memory. And then she'd want to keep it. But the thing is, she didn't know it was in that box. Mm-hmm. So if you just take that box and give it to somebody else or donate it, then you don't have any connection to it anyways. You don't need it. And it's that whole thought of tying memories to items and saying, I need this item because it has a special memory attached to it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when we run into problems with sentimental value and, I need that little ticket stub because, you know, and then your house builds and builds and builds and you get cluttered with stuff.
Right.
And it's, you know, the book hasn't yet gone into, okay, what's wrong with having all this stuff? Mm-hmm. I think it's going to, but from what I've heard from their podcasts and from my personal experience, for me, a cluttered physical space leads to a cluttered mind. Mm-hmm. And for me, that's not good. I like to have a clean, organized space, and I don't like to have extra stuff. Right.
Yeah, I think I can relate to Kyle's like perspective because I was there like moving his grandma, and it was a big like eye opener. I like always tended to be on the side of like keeping things. Yes, not going to use the word hoarder because I'm not a hoarder.
No.
But I like to. Sometimes I feel bad giving away things that I've gotten as like gifts or like stuffed animals. So it's something that I've taken a little bit more time to do. Like I have some more excess stuff right now than he does, but I am working through my own process of how to get through some stuff.
Definitely. And also with the holidays coming up, we had this conversation the other day. You know, some people's love language is giving gifts and receiving gifts. And you can't tell people not to get you stuff. You can have conversations months ahead. Hey, you know, we don't need anything. But if somebody's love language is giving gifts, then they're going to. And we talked about this was if somebody gives you a gift that you don't necessarily get any value out of or you can't use, you say thank you and you accept the gift. But if you really want to honor that person's love language and honor that gift in that person, are you honoring it by stuffing it in a closet somewhere and never using it? Or would that item be better served given to someone else who could find value out of it? Mm-hmm. It's so clear. It's like it's taboo to be like, okay, if someone gives you a gift, I'm not going to ever use that thing. But what we do is we take it and we stuff it somewhere. Mm-hmm. When in reality, what we should do, but we won't do because it's socially and culturally rude. If someone gives me a gift that I can't use or find value in, what we should do is say, I really appreciate the thought and I really thank you for this gift. I don't know that this will add any value to my life, but we accept it because that's our culture, right? Mm-hmm. But what we should do though, then if we don't do that, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna do that. Like I would feel so awkward, but maybe donating it to somebody else or regifting it. I know that's a little taboo too, regifting stuff. But if someone else can find value out of it, why not? I feel like that's honoring the person more.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. Mm-hmm. So yes, so that's kind of going to be our thought process going through this holiday season. Kind of like how we're going to plan.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, like we said, this was a really good eye-opening chapter of, oh yeah, don't forget, your memories aren't tied to physical items and what do you do when someone passes away with all their stuff? And it makes me think about how much stuff that I have that I still don't need. And we did a purge this summer. Mm-hmm. And, you know, if you are interested in becoming a minimalist, I would say keep reading this book and keep joining us on these discussions because I have a good feeling that this book is going to dive even more into. I have a feeling this book is even going to dive more into how to why to become minimalist. And so yeah, if you want to join, if you haven't joined us yet, you can find the book linked in the description below, right on Amazon if you want to. So thanks for watching, and next week we'll be back at it with chapter 3. I'm really excited for the chapter 3. We'll see how it continues on. So have a restful weekend. We love you guys. Find your gift.
Share it with the world.
And remember,
you are worth it.
See you tomorrow.